Alright, good evening YouTube and Twitch. This is Harmony Muse with Final Fantasy XIV. I apologize for not doing my normal morning and afternoon stream today. I wasn't feeling all that well. So let's get right into it, shall we? The joy of being a healer. I may have to keep people I don't know and barely care about alive, but on the plus side, you saw how long I had to wait for a queue. It was instantly bam right in. This is why I love this friggin' job. Wow, they were dead awful quick. I'm not even having to heal here. Come on, I only cast Cure once there. So I barely was a healer here. But how much you want to bet I get combos for that? Even though it's barely here. See? Commendation. Did jack shit, got a commendation. Good thing to be a healer. Let's get the leveling queue done. Wow, I'm actually having to wait. No shit. The name, okay, I can't help but wonder if that name of Laura Danon came from somewhere before I first saw it in Willow. I know the Tuatha De Danann chant that Willow was saying to try to do whatever it was that he was doing was, or to, right, he was helping Finrazel was what he was doing. Go on. That is one very gun-jumpy healer, or thing. Okay, I don't need to heal you until you're down to literally about half dead. I got my lucid dreaming, that's good. I'll put that on my bar when we're done here. you are a paladin, so you do kind of understand. Okay. I got you, don't worry. Gonna let you die now. Okay, you did well. Seems I'm the only person to give the remotest bit of a damn about the chest. Hold still. Making it hard to heal you. Damn it. I can't say anything. I've done it. Every person's done it and jumped the gun like that. I got no right to be pissed off at someone else for doing it. Okay, we almost got here. I swear I'm the only person that cares about the chests in here. Just as well. Alright. I legitimately like have two buttons to press for offensive power. Excuse me. Don't need to be hiccuping on camera. Question. Is the proper phrase hic Hiccuping or hicking up? Never quite understood that. I really think it's cute that people think a healer should contribute to DPS. Yeah, I kind of get it, but a lot of endgamers will get pissy at you if you're healing and not doing a respectable amount of DPS. It's like, oh, you're not doing your job. I'm like, my job is to keep people alive. Well, it gets irritating when you do that, fella. But I can't blame you. You're doing what I would do. I can't get irritated at you for doing what I used to do. I just wish it didn't break line of sight in the heal that I'm trying to drop on you at the time. And you're also doing the job of running as the last mob is almost dead. That's what I was educated to do back in 2.0. The rate we're going, we've got 3.5 minutes before we've beaten the boss. Or 3.5 minutes and we can beat the boss in under 15. Well, we should have time to spare. This is why a lot of people hope they get Satasha for the daily leveling. far down. Good. We're going to do this in under 2 minutes, or under 15. You got you. We're not going to get you in 15, but we're going to get you in damn close. 15 right on. Woohoo. We're going to give that to the tank. We got it to him right before he left, too. Two combos. Woohoo, it is good to be the healer. Damn Skippy. So, level 25, time for our second to last quest as a conjurer. Probably more about helping a Sylphie. Okay, and I get a magic stick, a level 26 magic stick that I can't use. Okay. It requires my assistance regarding a matter concerning the young conjurer. Welcome. The tales of your deeds reach me even here in the cloistered heart of Stillglade Fane. Glad am I that you have come. I would ask your assistance in a matter of some delicacy, yes, it concerns young Sylphie once again. As you can no doubt imagine, the recent revelations concerning her mother have sorely troubled the poor child. It appears Sylphie needed some time alone to sort through the whirlwind of emotions which now beset her. She has, in short, fled from the guild. Fortunately, a party of conjurers who were dispatched to the South Shroud to investigate another instance of corruption sent word that they have spotted our wayward Sylphie. Considering the importance of their mission, I would not seek to distract the conjurers from their task. Thus, I turn to you to escort her back here to the guild. You are, I believe, one of the few people to whom she will listen. Pray travel to Buscaron's druthers and speak with Wolfew. She was the conjurer who first chanced upon Sylphie, and will be able to tell you more of how the young lady fares. So it's time to go say hi to Buscaron again. That'll be fun. Nightmares, then what are you all about? Wood is convinced he's heard your name before. Okay, Buscaron's brothers, etc., etc. Drunken Lala fell at Buscaron's brothers. Okay, why am I getting a quest that's for a level 50 when I'm level 25? Sorry for yawning on the line. This is where I was supposed to be talking for Wolfew anyway, because of looking for Sylphie. Hope the little lady's alright. Wolfew, Nolan, Ellen, and Joaquin together? What the hell? All three of them. We meet again, Wilhelmina. I assume Brother Izumi has warned you of the corruption my companions and I have been tasked with purifying here in the Shroud. The source of this extensive blight is found in the southeast. The shrill, discordant voices of the elementals shriek their dismay in the vicinity of the withered tree ant. I suggest you give the area a wide berth. Considering the potential dangers, you might imagine how alarmed I was to discover young Sylphie wandering about this part of the Trollswood. It seems that her mother, a woman who healed with conjuring but remained untrained by the guild, called this region her home. Sylphie herself had her head buried in some manner of tome, but if she is as sensitive to the elemental's murmurings as I am led to believe, then the din within her mind must be driving her to distraction. Pray speak with the child and see that all is well. I would do so myself if our current duty were not so pressing. We will, in fact, be setting out at any moment. What's going on, Sylphie? Wilhelmina, I should have known that Wolfew would tattle on me. And Brother Izumi sent you to take me back, didn't he? This is where my mother used to live, you know. Right up until she passed on. Folk were grateful for the healing she offered. And this is a journal she used to keep. There's an entry that explains how nature became furious when conjurers used their art, and how there are always people wounded in battles when mortals abuse the power that is not theirs to take. My mother refused to draw on nature because she was afraid of making it angry. She wouldn't lie about such things, and I want to do what she would have done. I'm going to stop using conjuring altogether. Oh, God damn it. I've never heard the voices this mad before. It's because Wolfew and the others are overusing their art. We have to go and stop them. Foolish little kid. You are going to get yourself killed. Well, time for me to pull your fat from the fire. Between 2 and 20. Sick 'em. That's a good chocobo. God, it's so loud. Can't you hear it? Nature is shrieking in rage. Okay, what dumb thing are you going to be doing now? Nature is angry with us. We mustn't use any more conjuring. You're only making nature more furious. Now nature needs to send thunder and lightning against us. What more proof do you need? Hey, the elementals are helping us? Okay. I'm spending more time catching food than I am killing things. Duty complete. Okay. And hello, 11. All right, Sylphie. Where are you to learn that you're being a dumbass? I can't believe nature actually helped us. There was nothing scary about it at all. I must still wonder if it was really safe for conjurers to borrow that power if I hadn't seen the way you wield it. Nothing could seem more natural. I think it's time I went back to the guild. There are a few things I need to collect first, so please go on without me. And back to Gridania. Hope I was going the right direction. And bad bladder, what the fuck? I'll look that one up later. Actually, no, I'll look it up right now. Yeah, no, I don't. Oh, okay. That's the Ixal Beast Tribe lead-in. Now that makes sense. Been considering it for a good while? But at the moment, as much as I would enjoy playing the Zodiac Age, seeing what changes they made from it from the old PS2 version, which I used to have back when I used to have a PS2, I have better things to spend my money on at the moment. Or rather, more important things to spend my money on. Welcome back. And you also, Sylphie. Brother Isumi, I'm sorry I ran away like that. I understand, child. Did you find the answers you sought? Yes, thanks to her. She showed me that nature was nothing to be afraid of. I think I know why my mother refused to call upon its power. She believed that the act caused suffering to nature itself. I see. So it was her very love of nature that prevented her from drawing on its strength. Tell me, Sylphie, has the fog of indecision now lifted from your mind? It has, Guildmaster. I now understand why my mother chose the path she did. Full glad am I to hear that, for I must ask you of one more question. Yes, Brother Isumi? When you first witnessed Wilhelmina cleanse a corrupted element, you mentioned hearing voices. How exactly did they sound? The voices? They sounded joyful, like a crowd letting out a sudden cheer. I really heard them, I swear. I'm sure you did, Sylphie. This is a gift. Conjurers may sense the power of nature or borrow from its strength, but not all can hear its whispers. What you describe are the voices of the elementals. You may very well possess the talent to become a hearer. A hearer? Of course. Much relies on your studies of conjury. You have a natural aptitude, but you have thus far lacked commitment. You must not neglect your training, Sylphie. Putting aside such matters for the moment, I am curious to hear about the disturbance you observed in the South Shroud. I assume from the reports that I have received that it was of a different magnitude to those you previously encountered. Am I correct? This bodes ill. The creatures known as mud pies are not native to the 12's Wood. I wonder what relation they may have to this seemingly ever-increasing frequency of the disturbances. Something beyond the damage wrought by the calamity afflicts the 12's Wood. I shall commune with the elementals and seek to identify this threat. Wilhelmina, Sylphie, I may have need of you both before long. Until, give yourselves over to the study of your art. Ever shall the earth meet your footfall and the wind guide your path. That reminds me of the old Irish blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Okay, I can't do the level 31 until I'm level 30, so that's done. Yeah, you can, actually. One of my friends who is a constant guest star on the stream, Fan the Wolfman, he plays Final Fantasy XIV on his laptop. And why am I a girl? Simple. I play this game 4 to 6 hours a day. I don't want to spend 4 to 6 hours a day staring at a man's ass. Now, let's see here. That's all done. Let's do something closer to my level. Let's get a run in on Totorock. Instant. Ain't that beautiful? That will never get old. I could technically go to run a bowl of embers while I'm at it. As far as the Final Fantasy series, I can tell you, I've beaten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got partway through 7 and gave up on it because I thought the snowboarding was dumb. I've beaten 8 and 9. I got most of the way through 10, but gave up at the final boss. My fiance promptly got through and beat the ever-loving crap out of it. Okay, we've got a double puller. That's going to be good. This dungeon is going to go quickly. Okay. Either I'm under-geared or they're over. Oh, they're over. Good lord. Oh, that's a Minos Lux. Okay. Okay, it's going to be fun keeping this group alive. You're dying about as fast as I can keep you in health, lady. That said, I will always give you props for using that name. Olorin like that is actually a name from the Lord of the Rings novels. When Gandalf was giving out his many names, he mentioned Mithrandir by the elves, Zartul by the dwarves, Greyheim by the Rohirrim, and he said Olorin I was called in my youth. So basically what we're seeing here is a warrior naming himself Gandalf. Yes, I do. Rather, that is to say, I like the original Kingdom Hearts. 1 and 2 are the only ones I've played. After seeing the story after 1 and 2, they got what looked to be friggin' weird. No offense to people that enjoy the Kingdom Hearts series, but made no damn sense to me, half of them. Let's see if we get any gear that I can use. Ethereal Cotton Kex. Deep's gear. Oh, it very much is. Each of these people that I'm playing, or that are here, are other people. This is why I like MMOs. This is one of the many, many dungeons in this game. One of the original ones from... Hell, I believe they even had this in 1.0, but when they did the relaunch back in 2013, this was one of the dungeons that was part of the relaunch. No, I don't. I wish I did. Believe me, I really wish I did have Final Fantasy 15. It looks very, very good. One of the streamers I follow, that's Co-Carnage over on Twitch, did a full playthrough of it. And what I saw of it was nothing short of amazing. Oh shit, I'm healing myself. Whoops. Oh, don't I look like a dumbass? Okay. Yep. That's exactly the thing. 11. Good point that you brought up Final Fantasy 11. A lot of things that were the same in a lot of things that were taken for granted in Final Fantasy 7, or 11 rather, are in this game. You've got the Mithra, or the Mikote now, and we have male Mikote. There were no male Mithra back in 11. We also have a race like the Gulka called the Rugadin, and we have female Rugadin. So it's just like Final Fantasy 11, only with only with more options. People remember we got to go north for that one. We all know the lay of the land because you can tell everybody who isn't me has been here before. But there's a lot of differences between this game and Final Fantasy XI, though. Ninja, like this fella here, are a damage class rather than a tank. Red mages, they're considered a damage caster, but they can also do melee, and they can also do things, or do healing. Focus down the boss. I can keep you alive as long as you focus down the boss. We got it. Good. Ooh. Caster gear. Yay. Caster pants. Actually, Aladdin was Arabic. The name that we read as Aladdin was probably closer to Allah al-Din, or something similar. Why are you getting hit? And why are you getting hit? Only the damage dealer should be getting, only the tank should be getting hit. You're not poisoned. Okay. I doubt that. supposed to? Oh! That's my crowd control spell. Okay. Not really ever going to be used. But I'm glad I have it, I suppose. So we're not going to the side drawer for the chest. That's fine. Okay. I would have sworn that the original Aladdin story was from the old, you know, Shahrazad's A Thousand Tales. Kind of like the story of Ali Baba and his 40 Thieves. If you're wondering about classes, we've got, or what I am is a conjurer. You don't start off as a white mage. White mage is what I plan to become, however. At least with this, or for this character, what I'm doing. Each of the iconic Final Fantasy jobs, your black mage, your white mage, warrior, paladin, all of that, start off as basic jobs, really. Kill the tail. You know the story. Kill the tail. And we got it. We're going to give that one to the tank because he actually did multi-pulls. What we got? Antares needles. Ah. Road daggers. Okay. Yeah. I could see it. Oh, and I didn't get a single commendation for that. After all that work I did to keep that poor bastard alive, I didn't get a single commo. Oh well, stuff happens. 5 and 5 versus 4 and 4. Okay, we got 4 and 4 versus 3 and 3. Okay. Looks good. I should go repair my stuff. Because it has definitely been a while. Yep, you can. You start off as a gladiator, which is the sword and shield job in the town of Ul'dah. After you get gladiator level 30, there's a quest in the Gladiators Guild room to go and unlock the paladin job. How it works is you have what are called classes and you have what are called jobs. Your classes are your basic professions. Like you have the conjurer, which is a healer. You have the Thaumaturge, which is an offensive spellcaster. You have the Gladiator, which is a sword and board defensive fighter. You have the Marauder, which is a two-handed axe fighter. Or you have the Rogue, which is a twin dagger fighter. You've got the Pugilist, which is a hand-to-hand fighter. Each of these can... Oh, you also have the Arcanist, which is a fighter that uses books. Each of these can upgrade into a job at level 30. Pugilist becomes Monk. Archer becomes Bard. Lancer becomes Dragoon. Gladiator becomes Paladin. Thaumaturge becomes Black Mage. Conjurer becomes White Mage. Arcanist is one of those special ducks, because Arcanist can either become a Scholar, which is a healer, and uses fairies that they summon for healing, or they can become a Summoner and summon a Garuda, Ifrit, and Titan to deal damage for them. But yes, you can absolutely become a Paladin in this game, and they are pretty good tanks. I've actually been to level 50 as a Paladin back in the day. Now, let's see about doing a trial without fighting Ifrit for a while. Oh, no, withdrawal. Hit the wrong button. Clear selection, now we'll do Bowl of Embers. Instant again. This is the good thing about being a healer. If you're a healer or a tank, you never have to wait for a group. Alright, folks, go wreck them. In fact, these icons will give you an idea of what class or job someone is. That shield icon, that's a Paladin. That little throwing star looking job, or icon, that's a ninja. These two twin daggers, that's the rogue. That's the one that becomes a ninja. We're gonna die because these people don't know the mechanic. Yes, that's Ifrit. That is absolutely who that is. You fight him as part of the early storyline. each of the, or most of the legendary summons in the game, or in the Final Fantasy series, Ifrit, Shiva, Garuda, Titan, Ramu, Leviathan, Bahamut, all show up in Final Fantasy XI. In fact, in the history of why 1.0 became 2.0, Bahamut plays a very big part, because Bahamut damn near destroyed the whole world. Oh, for his level, he is. However, oh shit. One of the big lessons that the Ifrit fight is supposed to teach you is when you see crap on the ground, to get out of the crap on the ground. Well, that mood's gonna die. He didn't get out of the crap on the ground. He nearly died. We're going to be fine now. Everybody come together. And that was me using my Medica power, which is essentially curing a group. It's what Kiraga used to be in Final Fantasy XI. Ifrit by himself isn't all that challenging. The trick to Ifrit is it's at teaching you situational awareness. If you don't look at what's on the ground, you will die. And yet another commendation. I swear, I love being a healer. Oh, I've got mail. Right, you told me about that, Silunis. Let me go check that. I don't think there's a Mog mailman in. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to Northern Gridania. Okay. It's not all that hard. It's just a matter of learning the mechanics. So much of this game looks really hard to start, and can be, but if you learn how the game wants you, how the people who develop the game want you to fight the certain different bosses, it becomes a lot easier. Oh, higher level healer rings. Thank you again, Silunis. I appreciate that. Okay, what to do? Oh, I know what I can do. Holy crap, it's barely been an hour. I've already ran 3 dungeons. If this was on my samurai class, I'd have taken 2 hours to get into as many dungeons. Because sometimes it literally takes 30 minutes, even longer, as a damage dealing class to get into a dungeon Because so many people play damage dealers, and very few people play healers or tanks. Okay, let's get the Quarry Mill and do Palace of the Dead a turn or two. Oh, I am not looking forward to healing Hawk Manor before having White Mage. I think I might put a moratorium on Hawk Manor. Good God, that place sucked. This is what's called the Palace of the Dead. Palace of the Dead is complicated to explain. It's mostly, back in the day, was used for getting Gelmoran potsherds for getting rare stuff. And for building up Aether Pool to get good level 60 gear. Now, it's mostly used as a way to power level. I could do a couple leaves, maybe. But this is the kind of stuff you could buy with the potsherds. I'll just show you. Level for a rank 5 materia, a minion, or various minions actually. The Sasquatch and the Hektai. But as far as minions go, I've already got a pretty damn decent selection. Let's see what I have. I've got my Wind-Up Edda, Wind-Up Sid. Now, unlike the regular dungeons, Palace of the Dead doesn't have any class requirements of 1 tank, 1 heal, or 2 damage. I don't have a Discord of my own, but there are Discords that I hang around in. That said, they're not ones that belong to me, so I really don't have permission to give them out. Because, as far as I was saying about group composition, you see, we got 2 healers, 1 damage dealer, and 1 tank. And the map over here basically looks like your old 1980s era role-playing game mini-maps. Like we're playing Zelda or some shit. These levels here don't matter because your level in this game is in the Palace of the Dead is independent from your level in the actual game. There's actually a good full bit of story to the Palace of the Dead, but again, most people don't pay a lick of attention to it because, well, quite frankly, most people only come here for levels and to raise up their Aether Pool so they can buy a Kenna. Or if they're the crazy... Oh, shit. Or if they're the crazy schmucks trying to get to level 2 or floor 200. Hey, fan. Doing the Conjurer thing. Up to character level 26. Probably going to be 28 by the time I'm done tonight. But Fan the Wolfman here... actually more like here for you guys, is a good friend of mine. It was actually him that got me back into Final Fantasy XIV in the first place. And it's stuck behind the... hold still, don't die. This... oh, you're an astrologian, right. For a second, I thought you were a scholar. Astrologian is one of those weird jobs. Unlike your classic Final Fantasy jobs, Astrologian was something that came with the first expansion, Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. Those jobs, rather than having to build up a class to 30 and then you become the job, you start out as said job at level 30 directly. But to unlock those jobs, you had to have gotten to at least level 50 and made it to the Heavensward main story. No, this is not how I level up. This, what I'm doing here, or this is not all of how I level up. This here I'm doing for experience or so I can get levels faster. I'm trying to show you a variety of different things you can do in the game. Haven't done any of the main story, because my main class that I play, Samurai, is at level 60 right now. And they're far, far advanced in the main story. Oh, shit. The gladiator made friends. But anything, as long as you get enough experience, you just automatically level up. Each of your classes has quests specific to that class, or job for that matter. You get every 5 levels from 1 to 50, and sometimes every 2 levels above that, from 50 to 70. But as far as leveling in and of itself, all that it takes to level up is experience. This is just randomized dungeons that you can finish quickly and you get a great amount of experience for doing. It's commonly seen by many as one of the fastest ways to level at this point. Before Palace of the Dead, we mostly had fates and dungeon runs. And if you were a DPS, leveling via dungeon runs was painfully slow. The whole reason I'm leveling right now is for... actually, there's a couple of reasons that I'm doing Conjurer and taking a break from being the damage class. One is that I have done for the last month on stream nothing but the main story, nothing but leveling and advancing. They're called Lalafell. In Final Fantasy XI, they were called Tarutaru. But here they're called Lalafell. Though, in honor of Final Fantasy XI, there is one Lalafell that is named Tataru. We are going the wrong ass way. You'll be fine back there, Tankenstein. But this race here, the guy with the dragon head, or the dragon horns, they're a new race for Final Fantasy XI. They're called Ora. When they were first hinting at and introducing them, I thought they were going to be Vanga from Final Fantasy XII. And also from the Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. But no, they turned out to be a completely different race altogether. But the male Ora are tall and scary and covered with big imposing horns and scales. The female Ora are short and cute and have little tiny cute horns. Well, that's all she wrote. Ladies and gentlemen, oh shit. Ah. Now this, one thing I will have to mention, just like Final Fantasy XI, this game does have a subscription fee monthly. For $13 a month, that gets you a maximum of one character per server. Which, if you ask me, is all you need. Because one character can legitimately join every single class and max every single class. It would take frigging forever to do so, but you can do it. And my friend Fan, he's gotten every class to level 30 at least on his character moveset. Except, I think, for the Gathering class. But for one character per server, it's $13 a month. To have up to 8 characters per server is $15 a month. I pay the $15 a month fee, even though I really don't need to. What you're seeing over here with the FC in front, that's my free company. Link shells from Final Fantasy XI have been a bit expanded in this game. You have what are called free companies, which is like your guild in any other online game. Or your clan if you're a Counter-Strike junkie. Then you have link shells, which allow you to communicate with other people that are in the link shell. Link shells and free companies are not, can sometimes be associated, but generally aren't. And we're about to fight the boss of floor 10. And the Lancer is already trying to be a Lolderg and almost got themselves killed. All these traits acquired are stuff I already have normally, but like I said, in Palace of the Dead, you level separately from your level in the main game. But doing Palace of the Dead gets you XP for the main game. Take a look at this. This got 50,000 XP for the mainline story, as well as 1,000 gil and a bronze-trimmed sack. Those sacks are from doing the Accursed Horde. The Accursed Horde is items that will randomly show up when you do the Palace of the Dead. They can be turned in right here for a rare chance for different chances at rare loot. I'll actually show you that. See, I've got 6 sacks to turn in. So one could be from any number of things. A consumable sparkler for firework sparkler. Materia. If you've played Final Fantasy VII, you understand the concept of materia. I haven't watched Adult Swim in, Jesus, about 16 years. A Falconer's shirt. Basically a cosmetic shirt. I could take this and make any shirt that I'm wearing look like this. Those tend to be fairly rare and fairly valuable. A survival shirt. That'll probably go for some dosh. What's next? High House half boots. Those will probably go well. And a platinum piece, which is an automatic 10,000 gil. That was a profitable run. Okay, now to show you the auction house system, or rather the market board system and how that works. Back when I watched Adult Swim was when they were still playing Inuyasha and Cowboy Bebop. And they're actually showing what they called Uncut Gundam Wing. You know, back in the late 90s, early thousands. You know, that was what my fiance and I did back in the old days. We were getting off of our tech support work and coming home and chilling. When we were just good friends at the time. Well, right, I was going to the market boards in the marketplace. Okay. One important thing to know is every town or every major city of the 4 that I've been to so far, I don't know if Rulger's Reach and Kugane have this or not. I'm fairly sure they do. I could be wrong. Every one of them have a marketplace district. where you have, oh, somebody having fun. You have various NPC merchants selling things like a potion vendor, tradecraft merchant sells crafting materials for cooking and for blacksmithing and such. Jewelers sell you rings if you want to buy it off the rack. You've got armors that'll sell you clothing for your combat classes, your magic classes, or your crafting and gathering classes. Yes, there's even gear for gatherers and builders in this game. If you're not a crafter yourself, you can get a materia melder here to put your materia in your gear for you. You have a merchant that'll sell you weapons or crafting tools. You know, for example, the spheres for astrologians, the staves or wands for conjurers, and the scepters for black mages. And you have your crafting tools over here. You know, like saws for carpentry, different types of hammers for blacksmithing, armor smithing, or goldsmithing. Now, if you don't want to go through all that, or if you want to buy rare stuff that's dropped, but you don't want to, or if you want to buy high quality crafted gear, you come here to the market board. Say, for example, I'm level 27 as a conjurer. If I want to go looking for level 27 or conjurer gear good for a level 27 person, I'd come here. You know, it's all split out by your class. You got fishing tools, fishing tackle, botanist tools, miners, and so on and so forth. As well as armor, or you can search for armor by slot and by job. You know, various items like materia, crystals, so on and so forth. Materials for housing. But you don't sell that stuff on the board directly. What you do is you get what's called a retainer. The retainer is a combination of bank storage and market proxy. Let me actually pull out my retainer and show you. This is Nodwick. I named him after a character from a comic in Dragon magazine back in the 1990s and 80s. And yes, they have the Pompadour right out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Let's see about those shirts. Okay. The Falconer shirt, let's see what it normally goes for. About 20 grand. Okay, so what we do... I put it up for 1,800. Let's check what that survival shirt's going for normally. $24.99. Okay. Kind of seen as a dick move to do it that way, but hey. What else did I get? My house half boots that I just got. Rare boots for worth almost 40,000 or 45,000 there. I'll put them up for 43,000. Do I have any frou-frou hats I need to offload? No, that's everything. Right, off with you now. Oh, you're asking about my favorite anime? Now, that's a complicated question to answer. I've probably been watching anime likely longer than you've been alive, and for almost as long as I've been alive. Even since the 80s. Back before I knew what anime was, I was watching things like Robotech. Well, Macross really, but back then we called it Robotech. Voltron, Gigantor, Speed Racer. But as far as my favorite, you're gonna laugh? Hell, I'd probably laugh. I have to say my actual favorite anime is probably Sailor Moon. And I'm not, or rather Sailor Moon Crystal to be specific. That or probably Space Battleship Yamato 2199, the remake of the old 1980s Yamato series. A very close runner-up would probably be either Fairy Tail or Girls in Panzer. Oh crap, we're in Satasha. Ah, hell. This is going to be a boring slog. You're trying to double pull at this level. Okay. You think you can do it? Okay, I won't stop you. This is one of the neat factors of dungeons now, is you can go do dungeons at your higher level than you need. What it does is that it caps you back to a level around what you would have been when you needed to run it. That way you can still get experience from doing it, and it's not too much of a pushover. Yeah. I remember when yeah, exactly. When I tanked Satasha, I felt bored. Really bored. But back in the old days of Final Fantasy XI, we didn't have a duty finder like that. You wanted to run an encounter, or you wanted to do a notorious monster, or run a raid. You had to have the group already. So it was very common in the cities or out in leveling areas, because at that time people really didn't do their leveling solo. It was very hard to do it that way. And so it was very common, if you were anything but a white mage, if you needed to be spending as much time sitting around in the area you were planning on leveling, asking for a group. Animal? Well, it's definitely not the human being. For that's for damn sure. But as far as favorite animal, let's see. I have to admit, being a bit of a redneck, that's a loaded question. Are you talking about what's my favorite animal to have as a pet? Or my favorite animal in general? Or my favorite animal to eat? As far as pets go, I would have to say without a doubt, anything canine. I mean, our family has generally had dogs most of my life, either both growing up and as an adult. Right. So mostly dogs. To be fair, a lot of what we see of domesticated dog loyalty is essentially a variation on the behavior of the pack wolf. It's just that human is seen as the alpha rather than any other dog. But really, that's why I'm not doing the main story, though, right now, is because I've been doing the main story as my main job, which is Samurai, which came out with the new expansion Stormblood. And that's up to level 60 at this point. So I couldn't do my main story as my white mate or my conjurer right now, even if I wanted to. Also, I'm honestly taking a break from that story right now. So much has happened. So many spoilers of very characters that you really get emotionally attached to, just like in Game of Thrones or Walking Dead, that just out and out died. And not playing the main story means I'm not having to deal with people that I've gotten attached to dying for a while. I wouldn't say I'm good at this game. Level cap in this game right now, what all the really, really big dogs are doing, is level 70. Highest I've ever been is level 60. Well, 61 to be precise, but still. And what I'm doing right now is trying to learn. I'm mostly used to being a damage dealing class. That is, picking up a katana and whacking things until they die. Healing is a whole different ball of wax. Because rather than just having to pay attention to what I'm doing, I have to pay attention to what everybody's doing. And I have to keep everybody alive. But mostly Saphira there. Get out of the fire. But that's one thing that's common with dungeons is anytime you kill the boss, and most dungeons have 3 big bosses, there is a loot drop. It's a piece of level specific gear, or level appropriate gear for people who would normally be doing that dungeon. And it may or may not be for your class. And they have a mechanic called the Need, Greed, or Pass system, where if it's something you need, and it's a direct upgrade for you, you can hit need on it, and you have a chance of getting it. If you don't need it, but still want it, say, to sell up on the auction house or something, you can hit greed. And if nobody needs it, you have a chance of getting it. If you absolutely do not want it clogging up your inventory for any reason, you can hit pass. Now, it makes 2 rolls. First, if anybody hit need, or those who hit need roll, and the highest person gets it. But if nobody hit need, they roll. Everybody who rolls or who picked greed takes the roll, and whoever rolled highest gets it. And you can only roll need on something your class can directly benefit from. For example, a white mage couldn't roll on heavy plate armor. Conversely, paladin couldn't roll on, say, a pair of monk's claws. Or a dragoon's spear. Brass knives. We have a rogue. No, we do not. There's a... Oh, or did you just... Oh, shit. I was following Captain Madison thinking they were the... Oh. Okay. I thought Captain Madison was a tank for a moment. I almost walked right into my own death. Whoopsie daisy. Got the key. Now, one thing I like that does lend the game to being, or to people playing multiple character classes, is they have what's called the armory system. Any class that isn't your primary class, you get double XP in. Or rather, plus 100% XP, which is effectively double XP, but not quite. This is another common thing you'll see tanks do. Is you can mark certain enemies with a number above their head. That means kill this one first, kill that one second, and so on. I almost let that tank die. I feel like a jackass now. There's a Cid in every single Final Fantasy. Well, except for Final Fantasy 1. Actually, no, I think in the remakes they named one, or renamed one NPC Dr. Cid. But in this Final Fantasy, he's Cid Garland, leader of the Garland Ironworks, engineer and purveyor of airships. And why, yes, his airship is named the Enterprise. I'm sorry, I'm of the firm belief that when it comes to Lalafell, or any cute race, much like the gnomes in Final Fantasy or in World of Warcraft, they're good for really one thing: emergency rations. I mean, that aggro, or rather that mob order or kill order that they use, used to be vital for low-level tanking back in the day. Back in the 2013 era when this game was first re-released. Because the ability for a tank to hold hold enemies' attention didn't used to be as good as it is now. Life used to be a lot harder for people like Saphira down there. I'm just messing with you, Silunas. I don't mean that seriously. The real reason I couldn't fathom playing one is more camera angles. Being that small would mess up your view when fighting much larger enemies. I already had that problem fighting the dragon for the Steps of Faith. I'm glad I didn't even have to tank that thing. I wouldn't have known where the hell to stand. Lena there is another friend of mine. They're known in-game as Silunas. They're the one that gave me all the really, really good rings and such that I haven't been able to use. Now this boss usually has a mechanic where every so often bubbles start popping up around the battlefield. But what you commonly see when a group is already doing enough damage that you don't need to worry about it, they'll ignore a boss's mechanic like that. In this case, not getting those bubbles causes fishmen to spawn up. And Victor ain't paying attention. And another commendation. All in all, it was a good run. What data center am I? Yeah, I stream every day. And I'm on Excalibur server. Which I believe is either Aether or Primal. I can't remember what server group it is. I could log out and check. Let me actually check something. Ah, crap, it's been about 2 hours. I should probably be heading out. Hold on a second. What I normally do is I do 2 hours in the morning or afternoon, 2 hours during the evening, and 2 hours late at night, all Eastern Standard Time. Primal, I thought so. Way, way, way back in the old days, in 1.0, when we had like 4 or 5 servers, actually no, it was more like about 8 or 10, and they were all named after cities from other Final Fantasies. I think I was on, I believe it was the Damsian server. It was either that or Sandoria. Anyway, I'm at a loss as what to say at this point. Okay. It's actually been good having a full house tonight. And enjoying talking to everybody. My usual stream time starts either anywhere from 11 o'clock to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. That's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's my usual start time, and I run for 2 hours. I do a stream in the evenings as well, anywhere from 6 to 8 p.m. to start. And again, I run for 2 hours. And then sometimes I may or may not, it's not a guarantee, but I sometimes run a very late night stream, anywhere from 11 to about 1 p.m. start time, and again 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. start time, and again I run for 2 hours. I do the 2-hour streams rather than the long marathons that a lot of other streamers do for a couple of reasons. One, I have a medically required need to get up and stretch my legs and get my circulation going every so often now and then. Two, let's face it, even with an extremely comfortable chair, sitting in one spot for very long does get uncomfortable. That, and let's be honest, even if I had a voice made of golden chocolate, it would get old after a certain amount of time. Goodness knows, just ask my mother. Yes, I'm 40 years old and my mother watches my streams. I'm actually quite grateful for that. Anyway, if I can bore my own mother to the point where she falls asleep watching me stream, that's generally a sign that I've been going for too long. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. I'll probably be back later tonight since I didn't do a morning stream today. Thank y'all very much for watching. Like, follow, and subscribe if you enjoyed the show. I say the follow part for my Twitch followers. Or for my Twitch viewers, rather. This has been Harmony Muse. Thank y'all very much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. I will more than likely be back in about 3-4 hours. Have a good one.